Good morning. Welcome to A Faithful Life. My name is F.I.Y.A. This is day number 11 of the Proverbs channel. We have a special guest on the phone. Alright, we got Sister Naomi, one of my favorite Bible study friends of all time. We love to stay in the scripture all day and all night. And it's a beautiful thing. So we're going to start at Proverbs 11 and 3. Honesty guides good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people. What do you think about that one, Sister Nicole? That one stuck out to me.
Honesty guides good people. Repeat the one you just said.
It says, honesty guides good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people.
I have to agree with that. Honesty is the best policy. And, coming from the scriptures, it says honesty guides good people. It does. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I agree as well because, there's sometimes when people may not like people who's honest all the time. You're like, I can't stand them. You know what I'm saying? They always got something to say. And it's not that somebody always has something to say. It's whether or not what they're saying is true.
You're right, and I could speak from personal experience that I've had that. Sometimes you see something or someone says or might do something and you try to, correct them or, give them guidance and they get upset.
Yeah.
They get bothered.
Yeah.
The truth does make you squared up. So I really have to agree with that.
What about the part that says dishonesty destroys treacherous people?
It does. I have to agree with that as well. Because when you're dishonest, most of the time your end God is destruction. It does destroy you.
Just lying all the time, huh? People who just like to lie. Right. And if we're patient, I'm learning actually if we're patient enough, we'll see them. Not that we want to see them destroy themselves, but if we're patient enough, we'll see it come to pass. Most definitely.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
Okay, so what about this one? Riches won't help on the day of judgment, but right living can save you from death.
Riches won't help on the day of judgment. Well, what about, a lot of people who believe that, being rich is the way to go. You know what I mean? So if you're rich and you're rich is all you have and you don't have, the Father with you, what in the end, what is it worth?
This is true. Also, what just popped in my mind when you was talking was Joseph in Egypt. Because after their riches was all done up and they spent it, they didn't have nothing else, and then they went for their animals and they didn't have nothing else. Finally, they sold themselves.
There you go. And because people could be in that same predicament today too. You're riches because then you have nothing to no strong hold, nothing to lean on. So your riches become all you have.
Right.
And when it's all gone, the rug just put them under your feet. Then what happens?
So basically,
right. There you go.
Another thought that just came to my mind is right living, meaning, for instance, wealth and health. That also popped in my mind when it says riches won't save you on the day of judgment. It may not. Sometimes we think judgment is for everybody. Judgment gonna come at the same time. When we hear day of judgment, like everybody gonna drop dead at the same time. But it might be the person's personal judgment, where it is that your judgment for, say, the way you've been living all your life, maybe you eat a lot of Kool-Aid and you eat a lot of Twinkies and bonbons and all of these things like this, right? And then now this is your day of judgment and no amount of money is going to save you.
That is true. You're absolutely right. And just to touch on the part that you talk about the Twinkies and the bonbons, I think about that. That's also a health issue, a health topic, not to divert, but, it's important what we eat as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta eat your right,
I totally agree. So that's what right living is. The way we live, the way we think, the way we move every day in the earth, which is gonna send those positive vibrations out and be able to save us. Though some of that is gonna reverberate in the time that we need it. Another interesting one that jumped out that I wanted to touch on real quick is, without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors.
There's safety in having many advisors.
Yeah, because the scripture also says that there's wisdom in sound counsel. So it also says the fool leans on his own understanding. So if we put all of those together, without wise leadership, a nation falls. Can you see it? Is it kind of coming into view?
Yeah. But then again, it's like sound leadership. We have to find out what is sound leadership. Repeat that.
It says without wise leadership, a a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors.
What does wise mean? What does wise leadership? What does that mean to be wise leadership?
That's a good question. That is a good question. If we take it back to the personal, and say that the nation is within your community or within your circle. Because Nicole, like Sister Naomi always likes to say that it starts with the individual and then it goes to the nation, and she always says that that's her like time treasured quote there. So, yeah, her famous quote. So I agree on that one. So let's take it back to the self, or say your community. Without wise leadership within your community, you understand, if we don't come together and be able to counsel and advise so that we can see different perspectives of an issue, then we can't go forward. I think that's one of the things that's plaguing us today, is that we're not coming together so that we can see each part of the puzzle is coming together. What do you think about that?
No, I agree with that. I have to do that. That's it.
Okay. Because we tend to.
There's another thing that I wish I remember too. I want to add. There's something I'm quoting from another part of that. I remember. It says, "Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength." So with that, that plays a part in getting the right counsel.
Yeah.
Sound wisdom.
That's true too. Being connected with the Most High, because we can be wise in our own eyes and not be connected to what is wise in the Creator's eyes.
And that takes us back to another scripture. I remember it says, we should lean on our own understanding. So if you're telling us to seek counsel, that means your own understanding is not going to be good enough. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely true.
Counsel,
Okay, so what about the last one? Because we could go long. So I ain't gonna give y'all too much. We just sharing a little bit about what we gleaned today. What about there's danger, number 15, in putting up security for a stranger's debt? It's safer not to guarantee another person's debt.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about that. This is really for traditional.
Let's say you.
There's a danger in putting up security for another person's debt, because then I guess with that we don't know, right?
What's that? The person? No, say you do know the person. Say for instance, you and your husband goes into someone and their husband goes into the car dealership.
Right.
And he's like, "Ooh, I love that car." Now your husband works at the Splish and Splash car wash. You know what I'm saying? And so then you're like, "Ooh, baby, it's not my car, but I'm gonna put my name on it with you." Or people do that with houses as well. Next thing you know,
like a co-signer.
okay, what we would call today as a co-signer. Next thing you know, he don't want to go to Splish and Splash no more. He don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? And because your name is on it, what happens? He reneges on it, they come for you, and they start garnishing your wages.
That's true. You're right.
So Solomon said it's safer not to guarantee another person's debt. I know this will be like hot water, because now everybody's like, what do you mean? But this is what today we know as a cosigner.
A cosigner, yeah. Those are like Tetris supporters right there, yeah.
and that's what makes...
But it makes sense, because oftentimes sometimes you do that, as you said, and the person no longer wants that. It falls right back on you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And unless you're ready for that, or to destroy the relationship, because you know what happens when people owe you money. How you look? You be looking crazy. You.
I've seen that many times. People, with colleagues of mine and stuff like that. Yeah, I've seen that.
People owing you money and they buying new shoes, and you looking like, for real?
Yeah, because that comes in this course now between them. Exactly.
Like, is that a new shirt? Is that a new car? And like, wait a minute. So I'm saying Solomon is giving us the wisdom here if we want to stay out of this kind of thought with us. And I've seen it in times past myself, and I'm quite sure all of us has. Unless you're gonna give it and it's not gonna come back, and you have accepted that, and if it does come back, it's a blessing. But if we give it knowing that this is something that we need, like I just gave you my rent money, then chances are we shouldn't do it.
Right, exactly. And we have to be use our conscience as well. That's what comes into play. We have to be mindful of each other.
Indeed.
And how we deal with each other.
And that's exactly, I agree with with Sister Nicole. We be mindful of what it is that we ask people to do for us, and see that if we would do the same for the person that we're asking it from. Because a lot of times we ask people to do stuff and then we're mad when they don't want to do it, but we wouldn't do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've also seen that in past lives as well. Absolutely. And as you said, God has given us the wisdom, so, we can take it in and use it in our daily life.
Exactly.
As an example.
Exactly. So with that, I want to thank Sister Naomi for visiting us today here at A Faithful Life Problems Challenge Day number 11. If you have missed the others, you can subscribe here. Or, sorry, my hand is caught up. Or you can come over here and look at the playlist for 1 through 10. So everybody have a blessed day. Shalom.
Yes, I want to thank you for having me. Shalom.